Yes, colleagues. In order to make sure that the project works, I think that there are certain fundamental principles that we have to adhere to, and I am really heartened by the injection of real politics, the kind of politics that Respect stands for, in the contributions from Karen, Kevin and John Molyneux. That's the kind of politics that Respect not only stands for in theory, but has proved it stands for in practice. But I do think it is important to address some of the specific issues that have been raised in relation to the internal discussions and the internal debate. And I want to make 2 points. I was going to talk about the pull of electoralism in Tower Hamlets in particular, and my experience on the role of the selection panel for councillors, but I will simply say one thing about that. We reject the view that strong candidates can only come from one ethnic group and can only be male. We strongly affirm the view that women, white socialists from any ethnicity are equally welcome to stand as candidates and can be equally strong. We reject the pull of communalism in any of its guises. In addition to that, and I'm sorry to have to say this, but I've had some horrific experiences of breaches of this principle in the last few weeks, particularly in Tower Hamlets. We are for democratic procedures. We are for properly called meetings. We are for properly chaired meetings. We are for the inclusion of everybody in Respect in discussion in meetings. We are for the right to put resolutions in meetings. And we are for the right of everybody to be welcomed and for meetings not to be broken up with threats of violence and intimidations, particularly against women colleagues, particularly against, in Tower Hamlets, Bengali women colleagues. We stand 100% for a proper, inclusive organisation and for a properly democratically run organisation. I'm sorry to say that George Galloway personally and his supporters have been in breach of all or most of those points of principle as far as democracy is concerned in Tower Hamlets over recent weeks, trying to overturn democratically elected delegates, trying to overturn proper decisions that have been taken at properly called meetings. The last point I want to make is this, and it's a very important one. I strongly resent anybody who says that we have not attempted to compromise in this split. Right from the very outset, none of us wanted this split to happen. But I will say this, and we have fought in every sphere and in every place where we've argued to prevent the split happening. We've reached compromises locally, we've reached compromises nationally. But compromises do not involve pieces of paper. You can have a piece of paper that everybody agrees on, but if in people's hearts and minds there is an absolute opposition to any kind of compromise, and only a desire to split an organisation by driving out the most progressive and the most left-wing elements within it, then there comes a point at which you have to say the only point in compromising is if underneath the compromise there is an underlying principle that you are going to stand for. And I think we've reached that point now. Compromise, yes, but apart from acknowledging that compromise is important, it is useless unless underneath the willingness to compromise there's a determination to stand for the principles that everybody here has articulated, and that's why I am very proud to be associated with this conference today.